So I want to do a little ASL fun facts. Things that my early readers asked me when I was first writing signs of, I can't spell today, attraction. And a lot of those things stem from writing about hearing loss, deafness, ASL, deaf culture, where others don't know the same things that I know and that some of my characters know. So one of the first things kind of relates, sorry, I tried to get the cat. So one of the things relates to ASL being two hands, and you'll notice most of the time I use both my hands, but if you saw last week's vlog, I actually happened to sign while holding my hearing aid. So you can sign with one hand. It's more, you have a dominant hand, so one hand shows most of the language information, but I'm laughing because my third cat is behind the camera right now. You want to come say hi? No, she doesn't. So you have a dominant hand, and that shows most of the information needed. The other hand is more support to help clarify. So if it happens, you break an arm, you can't use it, or you're holding a cup or a baby, what you do is you just go ahead and you sign with one hand, and maybe you use part of the other hand to show a little bit of communication, but most people can understand if you have to use one hand. And that's one thing that people, tend to ask, how is the person signing if they're drinking or doing something else? And the answer is they can. Another thing I get sometimes is, can deaf people drive? Yes, we can drive. I drive myself. I actually tend to drive with the radio on, so I'm not hearing my environmental very well. But because I'm more visual, I'll notice a police siren before other cars on the road, and I'll have to pull over first because I'm noticing it first. Before the sound is heard, the lights are easily seen. But if you have two ASL users in a car together, they can chat while the car is driving. It's something as simple as eyes going back and forth. So you catch a little bit and you can figure out the signs and you're paying attention to the road as well. The passenger will tend to slow down if they have to, or if the road becomes more important, they'll stop, hold that thought, and wait. If it's dark at night, what do? There's an inside light. You turn it on. So you can see each other and see the road and still chat and have a good time. It doesn't matter that you're driving. Another thing about ASL, which is more a challenge I had, is showing a 3D language in 2D. There's a lot of beautiful things about ASL, and to figure out how to put that in English is something I'm still trying to figure out. One example, ASL has something that's called classifiers, and classifiers are really ways to set up a 3D language in a 3D space, and you don't have that in a 2D language. For example, I can show where things are and how something relates to me. Like if I'm want to say something's far away, there's a difference between, oh, it's far, or it's far away. Something like that just shows a little bit of difference. And there's something I've seen that I absolutely love, which is more of a deaf kind of poem of a tree being cut down. And one thing is you can show the kind of far away view of the tree and being cut, and then you can switch to the person who's cutting it. So you can go back and forth between the two, and it's really just amazing and beautiful, and I did something like that in the book. But what I did was I didn't use English language quote speaking, I switched to descriptive so I could explain what was being seen, because that was the only way to really kind of express and show how a visual language would be. So that's kind of a few, small little ASL fun facts. As I said, I've tried to make sure that I clarify and explain things in the book, but it's hard because my characters know these things. So you don't explain driving and signing at the same time if it's something you've known your entire life. It's one of those interesting challenges of writing something that's not, mainstreamed. So I hope you enjoyed, and I'm sorry I couldn't get the cats back. Oreo's actually watching me right now on the floor. I woke her up, so she's very upset. All right, bye-bye.